In this city, cars speak louder than people. Engines were introductions. Exhaust notes were warnings. And respect was never given, it was taken, mile by mile. Ethan learned that early. He grew up on the south side, where houses leaned like tired men and streetlights flickered as if they'd given up too. His father left when he was 10. Not in a dramatic way, just one morning the garage was empty, and the sound of tools was gone forever. But one thing remained. A rusted 1998 Honda Civic, sitting behind the house, paint burnt by the sun, tires flat, engine silent. That car became Ethan's shelter. After school, while other kids played ball or scrolled their phones, Ethan sat in the driver's seat of that Civic, gripping a cracked steering wheel, imagining a road that led somewhere else. Someday, he whispered to himself. Someday, we'll move. By 18, Ethan was working 2 jobs. Morning shift at a warehouse. Night shift washing dishes. Every dollar he saved went into that Civic. New spark plugs. Used tires. A junkyard exhaust that rattled like hell but sounded alive. When he finally drove it to a local meeting, people noticed. Not in a good way. A group of guys leaned against a black Charger nearby. One of them laughed. "Yo, is that thing even street legal?" Another smirked. "Bro brought a lawnmower to a gunfight." But there was no finish line. It was morning. First gear. He went to work where he wouldn't have gone before, even for a minute. With his hands. Slowly. 4 pennies. His knees hurt. His back reminded him of the accident. Pride was silent, it had nothing to say. But for the first time in a long time, he slept without anxiety. He started calling his mother. Just like that. Without a then. He began to notice the sky. The smell of gasoline. The warmth of an engine that starts the first time. He fell in love with cars again. Not as a status. As a living craft. Slow recovery. A year passed. Then another. He had a small garage. Then a client who said, "You act as if it were your car." Artem smiled, because it used to be that way. He didn't chase anymore. He was driving. In second. Sometimes in third. But always consciously. The finale. One evening he stood by a restored car. Not a new one. With scars. But a real one. He ran his hand along the body and said quietly, "You and I are alike." The road ahead was dark. But he was no longer afraid. Because he knew. Speed is not the main thing. The main thing is not to lose control again. Wait. Is that? No way. It was Ethan. Same eyes. Different presence. Someone laughed nervously. No way, that's the Civic Kid. Ethan didn't smile. He walked to the trunk, opened it, and pulled out one thing. An old, cracked Honda key. He held it up. "I didn't forget," he said quietly. "I just finished." The city's top racer that night was Marcus. Hellcat. 1,000 horsepower. Ego to match. Marcus stepped forward. So, you wanna lose that pretty car? Ethan looked at him. I didn't come to lose. Crowd laughed. Keys were placed on the hood. Key for key. Someone whispered, "This is suicide." Ethan slid into the M5. Closed the door. Silence. Inside the cabin, everything was calm. Heartbeat steady. Hands relaxed. Green light. They launched. The Hellcat screamed. The BMW hunted. Corner by corner, inch by inch, Ethan drove like a man who had already lost everything once. Final stretch. Ethan didn't floor it. He waited. Then struck. The M5 surged past. Finish line. Silence. Then chaos. Marcus sat in his car, stunned. Ethan walked over, keys in hand. Marcus looked up. So what now? He muttered. Ethan placed the Hellcat key back on the hood. I didn't come to take your car, he said. I came to take my name back. He turned to leave. Marcus called after him. Why'd you disappear? Ethan stopped. Because nobody respects a man who's still becoming. He walked away. Epilogue. Weeks later, someone found the old Civic parked outside the warehouse. Fully restored. New paint. Quiet engine. Perfect. On the dashboard sat a note. This was never the finish line. This was the beginning. Because legends aren't loud. They're patient.